Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mevo Live. I am Joe Capehart. I'm the Senior Technical Specialist here at Mevo, and today we have another really fun show for you. I'm joined with Will Kirkpatrick. I'll introduce him in a minute, though. We don't want to jump too fast. We're going to end up skipping too much of this introduction, and we can't miss all the important stuff, like some sales. As always, for these live shows, please put your questions in the chat below. Will and I would be more than happy to answer or even demo any of the questions you may have that we can actually demo. So the Mevo Live, as you know, are the ones where we can actually share our screens, whether it's the Mevo 2.0 app, Mevo Multicam, whatever it may be. We can share our screens and show you exactly how to do, well, whatever it is that you are wanting to do. As always, questions in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from as well. And, you know, without further ado, let's jump into a sale, because I know that's why everyone's watching. So let's talk about the current sale that we have going on right now. Right now we have the Mevo Start bundle. It's the DJ bundle. You get a Mevo Start Ethernet power adapter, the Mevo Start case, and floor stand. It's US-based customers only, and you can get that until the 1st of next month. You can get it for $593.97. But that's not all. I'm going to hand it over to Will, and he's going to talk a little bit about, well, our referral program, because it's a killer program. So Will, take it from here.
Thanks, Joe. Hi, everybody. I'm Will Kirkpatrick. I'm a technical specialist here at Mevo, and we have a fantastic referral program that I'd love to. You refer a friend to make a purchase on Mevo.com, you can save them 5%, and in doing so, you can also earn 5% commission yourself. So this is a great way to get other people involved in the Mevo community, spread that Mevo love, and get some back yourself. That's 5% off for them and 5% for you. That's Mevo.com/referral.
And I always tell people this every time, how cool it is to do this referral program. And I'm going to continue to chime on this every show. We do go live 4 times a week if you were unaware. But every show that I'm on, I always try to make sure that I actually let you know that you get a fully customizable code. So this isn't some Mevo generated code that just looks generic and that anybody can get. This is a code that you can name after your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, your baseball league, your sports league, your house of worship, whatever it may be. You can name your coupon code after that, and you can hand it out and save some people some money. And in the background, you can earn yourself some money as well. As I was mentioning earlier, if you are watching from somewhere cool, or I mean, if wherever you're watching, it really doesn't matter. I really want to know. You know, we are spreading the Mevo family. We are all over the globe now. So please let us know where you're watching from. If you're creating any cool content with your Mevo, be sure to hashtag Mevo Camera in said content, and our marketing team can get a hold of that. And when possible, we'll do our best to share that on our on all of our social channels to help, you know, spread out some information for you, get you some extra viewership if we can do that. We would love to. As always, if you do have any technical questions, please go to help.mevo.com. We'd be more than happy to assist you with any kind of technical questions or issues you may be having. Myself and Will and Joseph, which is here doing questions, we are in there every day, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have a pretty good response rate. So please, if you do have questions and you need assistance, go ahead and go to help.mevo.com. If you have any just questions you want to demo, or if you're just curious, you don't have a Mevo yet and you want to know if something's possible, these live shows is where it's at. You can post those in the chat, and we will do our best to demo those here live. As I mentioned, we do go live 4 times a week. On Tuesdays, it's me going as an Ask Mevo Anything. You can ask me any Mevo related question, and I'll do my best to address those live. On Wednesday, Will does a multicam show, which is why he does all of our multicam demoing on the Thursday shows. He gets to go through, you know, all of the really cool features that multicam has. He can demo them, and then he can even answer any future questions, you know, like, is this feature coming and when, you know, things like that. Well, not necessarily when. We don't really get timestamps for things like that, but he can talk to you about upcoming releases and things like that. And then on our Thursday show, which is today, we get to demo both Multicam and Mevo 2.0. It's kind of like a Tuesday and Wednesday show combined into one. Me and Will get to tackle those together. And then Friday, Joseph Pisani, he is our technical specialist who has a background in audio engineering. He goes live and talks about the Mevo audio show, whether it's internal audio with the Mevo Start or external audio. He talks about specific microphones, does different unboxings and really cool things like that. So if you want to learn things about audio, that's the show for you. And it looks like we might have some questions already. So would you be able to pass some questions over? Okay, so we're gonna wait a little bit. He's gonna get those generated for us as quickly as possible, but we are always ready to answer questions. So it looks like Scott says, I'm looking to use 2 or 3 cameras for baseball, currently use an iPad. Do we have to use a router for the cameras to connect? So this is a multi-cam question, so I'm gonna just hand that one over to you.
So you don't have to use a router. You can certainly use having one Mevo as a hotspot and then having everything connect to that Mevo. But we do recommend using an external router. I would recommend you grabbing one that you would use typically at home. A home desktop Wi-Fi router would be great. And basically what you would want to do is plug it into a portable battery, and then you'd be good to go. By using one of these home routers, that gives you far more distance for each one of your cameras. So that's the way that I would go. We actually did a demo on this show for 2 weeks back now that you can find on YouTube and Facebook as well.
That's right. So we actually do a weekly, like all of our videos, their VODs or videos on demand are uploaded to YouTube after each live show. So if you do miss a show and you really wanted to watch it, or if you're curious about previous content that we've done, you can always go to YouTube at Mevo Camera and see all of our videos. You should also be able to go to our media here on Facebook if you're watching through Facebook and find all of our videos there as well. So you can always get all of our content on both platforms. So Michael says, hello from Florida. Hello, Michael. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know if you have any questions, Michael. We're going to try to address all of those today. I'm telling you, the best part about our day is actually being able to interact with our users. So please, if you have questions, let us know. Ben says, hello, looking at building a simple 3/4 camera setup for, let me zoom out just a little bit, probably didn't set this up perfectly. For panel video with the Mevo Start via NDI, can you control the PTZ features and in-camera micro SD recordings in Livestream Studio? So you can absolutely manage all of the live editing features, whether it's crop, pan, zoom, all of that stuff you can do in Livestream Studio. And then even to take it a step further, you don't even have to have Livestream Studio. You can use Ndi Studio Monitor, and you can manage that there. That way, any input, whether it's through OBS or Ecamm or Streamlabs, whatever it may be, you can control the PTZ functionality through Studio Monitor for Ndi. It's a great question, and hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of demoing for something like that soon. You can actually use configure a joystick or something similar and get that full experience for NDI PTZ editing. Awesome. Okay, so without further ado, I kind of want to jump into the Mevo 2.0 app a little bit, kind of show you some of the graphical options that we have. It was something I covered on Tuesday, but if you missed it, it's a perfect opportunity for me to jump into the Mevo 2.0 app. And then Will's going to show you the similar setup for graphics in the multicam. So we can show you, we do have 2 apps, so we want to make sure that we show you both sides of things. If you're using a single Mevo camera, you can get this Mevo 2.0 app and you'll be on your way. If you're using, you can technically use a single camera for multicam as well, but the interface is a little different. So we want to make sure we cover both options for graphical overlays. So let me go ahead and pull this up a little bit. So if you notice here, oh, it looks like my iPad got a little bit too big here. Let me go ahead and resize this just a little bit to make this a little clearer. That's it. There we go. Now it looks nice and pretty. Wonderful. So when I make this window over here full screen, you're going to notice that my lips and audio are going to go out of sync. That's because the video that you're seeing is coming from this iPad here, and it's not going to be in sync with the video that's coming from this camera. There's going to be 2 different feeds. The feed from the iPad is slightly delayed, so the audio is not going to be in sync. So don't worry when I make this full screen. Audio is in sync with the normal camera, just not the demo camera. But as always, if you have questions about any of the demos that we do today, please let us know and we'd be more than happy to dive in a little bit further. So let's go ahead and jump into the full screen so you can get a better view here and we can go through graphical overlays. So for this here, I'm using the Vimeo producer plan, and as you can see here, we have graphical overlays for top left, top right bugs. We also have top left, top right over the shoulder. Then we have the bottom left, lower third option, which is right. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, look at that. right there. And then we also have this perfect plus here. Oh, so close. So the plus sign for the full screen overlay. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually create something like this. All you have to do is actually tap on those plus signs, and you can create things. For example, you can use logos as I did here, and you can upload images for things like that. So say I want to have, I don't know, let's just take a picture from one of the first videos I've ever done for Mevo, and we'll just go ahead and check that out. So it doesn't have to be a perfect size, although on help.mevo.com we have all of the specifications and resolutions that we recommend for our overlays. But you can technically zoom in and zoom out on a higher quality video or image if you want to, and you can have that set up. So as you can see here in the program view here, you can see the image that I input. Now, I recommend using this for something like logos, as I mentioned previously, and you can actually get sponsors out there, get their logo seen, or whatever it may be. Now, another really cool thing is these over-the-shoulders. So you can actually have this still active and do, say, like an over-the-shoulder presentation. So right here, I've got a PDF uploaded with 14 slides, and I can freely show both of these, and you can see in the top right that it's got in the preview the overlays. So in the bottom left here, right down here, am I doing this well? Nope. This is terrible. I'm trying so hard. There we go. So right there, you can see we have some arrows that says 9 out of 14. If I just tap on those arrows down here on the bottom left next to that red Ndi button, you'll notice it starts scrolling through those slides. So this really allows a single speaker to just go ahead and go slide by slide and discuss and kind of walk their way through whatever presentation they may be doing or production. I try to create slides, and then you can even switch between those and make them full screen if you want. But I make slides, that way it can kind of help me guide myself through our shows. That way I don't miss anything. So I start with a little opening slide, a little agenda, go through questions and talk about different topics, and then then it even takes me back to questions again, so I can kind of segment off our show, and it's a really cool way to take advantage of something like that. Now, say you want to do something even different. Say I want to do you can even do a countdown, right? So the countdowns that you see on Tuesday shows are absolute, or even Friday. You use them as well, right, Joseph, for your audio show on Fridays? You use the Mevo Countdown on your audio shows? Yeah, so I do them on Tuesdays, and then Joseph does them on Fridays. So we use these countdowns here, and you can technically do a full screen countdown before the show starts. And the reason that we do things like this is to allow our viewers to get to the show before we start delivering content. It's a really cool thing to do. It's a very smart thing to do. Is give them some time to get situated so they can actually digest the content. If you start delivering content before your viewers get there, then people start missing some valuable information. So we recommend do like 3 to 5 10-minute countdowns before going live. Oh, I got my little demo here. And you can really take advantage and allow your viewer count to go up before you start delivering content. And you can create all of this directly in the app by simply pressing the plus sign, and you can select, oh, I didn't want to do that. Select the countdown here. You can count down based on duration. Right here, let me go ahead. You can count down based on duration, and you can count down based on start time. So if we start at 2 p.m., we can set that to 2 p.m., and the app will automatically count down to that 2 p.m. time frame. If we set duration, then it'll count down based on the duration. So if I set 3 minutes, it'll count down from 3 minutes. So typically what I do, our live shows start at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all of our shows, Tuesday through Friday. So I have two. I have one that starts at 2 p.m., but if we run into some issues during testing phase, then I might divert to use the 3 minute countdown. That way, if it does pass 2 p.m., I can throw that 3 minute one up, and regardless of when I start, it gives our users 3 minutes to get settled in before I start delivering some content. So some really cool things here is, so I select that 3 minute countdown, not 4 minute, 3 minute, and then I can start adding some text, whatever it might be. So this is the Mevo live show, not Mervo. Mevo Live. You can change some colors within the app, whatever it may be. There's a lot of really cool options. You can change the opacity as well, as you've seen on the other one. And now another really cool reason that you would want to use something like this is for example, if you want to do something with like half times or something like that, right? You do plays and you've got intermission, you've got halftime during football or different quarter, whatever it may be, even timeouts if you wanted to. So you could technically put those timers in there. That way people know how much time they have to get back before the show begins again or before halftime starts or the next quarter or whatever it may be. They have an actual duration to, get whatever they need and they get some snacks, come back. So it's a perfect thing that you can use for your live shows is to give a countdown. And let's see here. And then we have lower third. So I've got a lower third here that I created from my doggo. If I press the slide here, I'll show you how I made it. So you can do a single line of text here. So we'll do doggo. Or we can do a double line of text and we can say goodest. The goodest one. We'll say the goodest doggo. And we can select an image. So I can go ahead and select the image that I want. And I can change the colors that I want. He's got blue eyes, so I'm going to get fancy with it. He's got blue eye. Technically, it's not both. And then once it's done, I'm just going to select. You can see it's uploading. That means it's uploading to the SD card. I forgot my demo's not up. I apologize. I'll run through that one more time just so everyone can see. But basically what's happening here is it's uploading to the SD card. So there's no limitation on how many of these you can create except the size of your SD card because they're saved on there and not the camera or the mobile device, which is a little different than multicam, which we'll get into. But I'm going to go through that just one more time since we did miss the actual demo portion of it. So we're going to do doggo. We can change it to a single line or a double line. We can put his title or his name. We can change the colors if we want, add an image. And adjust that image, zoom in, zoom out, whatever it may be, and then press the check. And once again, it starts uploading to that SD card. And once it's done uploading, you can select any of those and press the check box. Then it's showing for the program out, and you can see it live for everyone there. So you can do that for players, sports, whatever it may be, a speaker. If you're doing like a convention or something, there's a lot of really cool reasons you would want to do this. And Will's got some really creative ways to handle these the lower thirds for sports. So I'm going to leave it to him to go into that for the multicam. But for the most part, that is pretty much the gist of overlays when it comes to the Mevo 2.0 app. So I'm going to lower this here. See if we can go back to some questions. It looks like we are back up to go for our questions live. So let's go ahead and send those over. See what we've got. Maybe. Let me see if I got, is it over here? Perfect. Let me just make sure. Awesome. So Roman says, do most people purchase a hotspot in order to get Wi-Fi anywhere? I'm concerned about sketchy Wi-Fi at convention centers. That's a great point. It's a great question. So, Roman, I don't want to say most people. A large amount of people do actually get hotspots. But if you're using a single Mevo, you can absolutely get away with the Mevo hotspot mode, and you can use the data from your mobile device. What I would recommend doing is, regardless of what service you use, whether it's a hotspot, whether it's local Wi-Fi, or data, make sure you do those speed tests multiple times. Even if it's a familiar location, make sure you're doing your speed tests. But a hotspot, if you're getting like a jetpack or something like that from Verizon or whatever provider, they're great options. Absolutely, you can definitely do that. And if you're going to be using convention centers, I would recommend doing it simply because there's going to be so many people there who are going to be using, local Wi-Fi. You don't know if the local Wi-Fi on the convention center is segregated, if they have like AP isolation on, which stops devices from communicating. And then you have so many cellular users there. You know how many people are going to be overloading that local tower. So I would recommend doing it if your goal is convention centers. But I would it's kind of go by case basis. But it's a wonderful question. Thanks for asking, Roman. All right, let's see if we can get another one. Fred the Hippo on YouTube. Love it. Will there be a feature for scrolling text in multicam app related to graphics? What do you think, Will?
There may be. Currently not something that is in the app or any of the developer builds, but I could certainly see the use case for that. Yesterday on the Multicam show, I demoed connecting multicam to OBS, and you can certainly do it that way. So thanks for that question.
It's a great question. Let's see if we can get us another one. How many do we have here? We have a pretty good chunk. 4 more? Awesome. All right, so Sanskrit says, suggestion for a view-only app that allows real-time viewing in monitoring using phones, tablets without accidental actions, good for staff working behind the scenes. No, I mean, that's definitely a great suggestion. So basically you want, oh, I'm just messing this all up. So basically you want an app similar to what you have here for the Mevo 2.0 or Multicam, where it's literally just a program preview. It's definitely that's great feedback. And, you know, with NDI becoming something, at least for Multicam, maybe that's something we can do, is output simply a program. For today's show, we're actually using Streamlabs OBS, and we have a secondary monitor over there with Will. That way he can see the program out. So we are using all of our Mevo via NDI right now, and then we're feeding a projection out to that secondary monitor so he can see it. But I could definitely see where that would, so obviously I see that would be useful. Maybe we can integrate something like that for for our apps as well. That's a great suggestion.
You could AirPlay. You could certainly AirPlay your screen or cast it if you have an Android device. If you're looking for a monitor out, you know, without any buttons.
Yeah,
that can
that's
be
a great
used.
point.
So,
I mean, you can definitely get creative with it for sure.
Yeah.
If you do end up trying that,
Thanks
let
for
us
that
know how it
question.
works out for you. I'd be interested to know.
Definitely.
All right, thanks for the question. So Jason says, we play at some fields with net for backstop. What's the best standard clip that you have for this kind of setup? I use Fence Clip for chain link, but looking for alternative. So Fence Clip actually, the company Fence Clip also has, I think it's called Netcam. It's literally the same company, and it's for nets. We've not had it. We don't sell it on our store, but they do have what is called a Netcam, and I would recommend checking them out. As you know, we love our Fence Clips. And I don't know, maybe Netcam will the Netcam version will eventually make its way to the Mevo store. Who knows? But if you're looking for a net specific solution, Netcam does have or Fence Clip has a wonderful product called Netcam. All righty, let's see what else we've got here. Michael Harris says, watching from Washington, D.C., can you rotate a portrait image? Actually, that's a wonderful question. So, I'm going to go ahead and do it in Mevo 2.0 to kind of show you what you can do. So let's go ahead and throw that up. Let me get rid of this question here. If you can pull that down for me, and I will pull up the demo. So we've got the demo here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, make this full screen, and I'll show you how easy it is to. Now, if you're talking about rotating a video, no, you're not going to be able to rotate the actual output to portrait. Now, if you're actually talking about an image, then absolutely. You can absolutely take an image and rotate it. Let's just take this one right here. And you can see right down here, there's functionality for us to rotate these however you so want or choose. And you can even just press this button here and rotate those images as well. Now, if you're asking if you can rotate an actual If you're asking if you can rotate the output for the video, you're not able to do that. The video, Mevo only shoots currently in landscape. Now, portrait may be something we would do in the future, but it's not a possibility at this time. Now, I did use Mevo at one point to create some advertisements for us for Instagram, and what I did was I simply rotated it. So the Mevo comes with a swivel mount for the stands. So I used that swivel mount to turn my camera like this, and then I used the editing video, and I edited the video in post. So there, you can get a little bit creative with it, but as it stands right now, there is no default setting to record in portrait mode. That's a great question though. Very, very good question. All right, let's see if I can get these questions back up. So I had to hide those. All right, Scott says, just went to buy a Mevo Start 3-pack and they're on back order. When will this be available? That sounds like a multicam question to me.
Yeah, so the 3-pack is extremely popular, and we sold out of our stock really, really quickly, but we have a lot coming very soon. We don't have a specific date for when they will be back in stock, but I would expect it to be very, very soon.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than later for sure. Those definitely did go pretty quickly. Wonderful. Thanks for the question, Scott. Oh, no. Looks like our overlay got a little bit too, or the text is a little bit too much. All right, let's see. Let's get him back over here. Oh.
Cam app at this point in time. I feel like I have a better streaming quality, 720 versus 480 latency with the Samsung phone, and looking to get a tablet instead so I can see the overlays better. So I would say right now, the Android tablet would be the better way to go than the iPad tablet, just because right now the iPad, you can see if we can throw up that overlay real quick. The iPad is not a full iPad version just yet. It's definitely something that we're working on and we'll be probably releasing very, very soon. But at this current moment, the Android tablet will show throughout the entire screen versus the iPad, which gets cut off a little bit on the sides. So I would go for the Samsung tablet, and be sure to get a tablet that is 3 gigs of RAM or higher. A lot of people buy the Samsung Tab A for the Multicam app, and unfortunately the Tab A only has 2 gigs of RAM, even though it's very affordable.
Sounds like a win for Android for me, which is, I know that hurts you to.
Which is,
hurts you.
it's very painful, yeah.
Awesome. Looks like we got some more multicam questions. I'm gonna keep letting you have those.
Cool. All right, Fred the Hippo says, is there a way to get more customizable with streaming options for multicam, i.e. custom bitrate, custom resolution, frame rate? So for some of those, absolutely. So let's see, can I get my iPad on screen real quick?
Yeah, let me go right here. Let me hide these questions real quick. Hold it. Awesome.
All right.
Oh, your iPad did the same thing mine did. What happened here? We looked away for a second, and everything just gets all crazy. So let me go ahead and make this full screen for you.
All right, cool. So we can adjust the camera stream resolution. First, you have to go into settings, go into camera input quality. This is going to be the max quality that you're going to be able to stream. So if it's set to 480, you're going to be able to stream only 360 or 480. So if we go all the way high, 1080p, this is going to cut off my cameras because they're going to be refreshing. There you go. They're going to be black for a second or two. And then once they're back up, there you go. Then you can go press live. It'll just take a second. There you go. There you go. Press live and then go to stream up in the top right. And this will set your resolution. Now you can go all the way up to 1080p high. And that's how you set your streaming resolution. In terms of frame rate, and the other, sorry, I think that was the other question. Frame rate and what was the second part of it?
Give me.
We got so many people messing with graphics today.
Oh, jeez. I broke it.
Customizable bitrate, customizable resolution, frame rate. So the bitrate is built into the customizable resolution. As you can see right here, we've got the bitrate right next to the resolution. So if you want to lower that, just lower the resolution. But there is no frame rate option at this time for the Multicam app, only for the Mevo 2.0 app. Thanks for that question.
That was wonderful. That was absolutely hectic when it came to the graphic switching over here. I'm gonna say I'm sweating a little bit.
We got a lot going on.
But we're figuring it out over here. Oh boy. All right, so Fred says, all right, so it's the same thing. So bitrate and input. Okay, so this is the same question from the last one? Oh, it's different?
What's the difference between streaming bitrate and input bitrate? Oh, okay, yeah. How do these values get affected? What makes them drop or raise? So it's really more dependent on the network that you're using, because if you have a very strong network, then you want to have that high resolution, great quality. If you have a lower, not so great Wi-Fi network, then you might want to lower that resolution. In terms of camera input quality, that is the quality that is being sent from the Mevo to the Multicam app. So it's not what's being streamed or what's being recorded, but just the quality that the Mevo is sending to the app. And then as far as the streaming bitrate, that is what's going out. So if your input quality is 1080p, you can stream at 1080p, or you can stream below that 720, 480, or 360. So that's the difference. Streaming is going out, input is going in.
Now, I do have a question. So when you were doing the input bitrate and changing all of that, the screens did go black for a second. And I know that's a common post and ticket that people are saying, like, hey, the screen's black. And they shouldn't worry about that, right? I mean, it will take a second to propagate and, populate the video.
Right. It's very much supposed to go black for a second. Like it is. It's refreshing. It's what the camera sent back looks like. There we go. I'm back now. And so yeah, that's the blackness there. But don't worry about it. It'll come back.
Yeah, and it's not only just when you're changing that input, it's also when you're actually opening the app as well. You know, it's just starting that stream to the device. The device has to process it all. So, you know, just give it a second, and it's not gonna be the same for everyone. There's not some like default number that you should be like, okay, after 3 seconds, there's a lot of variables, network speed, device that's processing it, the processing power. There's a lot of things that go into it. So if you are noticing that you're getting a black screen for a moment, just give it a second. Let it process. This is completely expected. Don't worry about that too much. Awesome. Okay, so we got even more multicam. We'll just call this the multicam show. You can have it, Will. All yours. Let's just go.
All right, let's see. Is the Idiom Mini Pro good with the Mevo? So this is not quite a multicam question, but I'm happy to answer it.
Sorry, I didn't see that one.
Unfortunately, the Mevo does not have a HDMI out. So if you were to buy a USB-C to HDMI adapter, it would not work. So unfortunately, it's just not possible to use that device with the Mevo at this time. All right.
Yeah, that one slipped
Thanks
in.
for that question,
the rest of, I think the next 4 questions are literally multicam. So yeah, that one just slipped in. I didn't see that one. Oops.
All right. Gene says, I found that the audio of my multicam stream that is saved to my iPad is out of sync. Any ideas on correcting it? Yes. So right now, we have noticed that is affecting a few users, and we've actually addressed it already, and we'll be releasing an update that has a fix to that very, very soon.
Go team.
Go team. Absolutely. Dan says, if I import a logo graphic to the Multicam app, why can't I adjusting the size so it fits in the upper third? So, I'm not quite sure what the issue that you're having is. They do have to be a specific size for each location. We do have an entire article in the help section that lists all the different sizes to use. A lot of people, one thing that they're dealing with when it comes to the graphics, if they're using PNG, please make sure that it's over 400 by 400 pixels. That way the graphic will be transparent. Otherwise, in iOS specifically, it will not be transparent. All right. So Marvelous says, can you do a countdown on the Multicam app? So not right now. You could do it if you connected Multicam to OBS, but obviously I showed that yesterday, and it's kind of a lot of work and not really worth it. So right now you can't do it in Multicam, but it's something that we would like to add in the near future for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely coming, and that's something a lot of people ask pretty regularly is, are these things coming? Absolutely. So like every feature that is in the Mevo 2.0 app that can make its way over to the Multicam app, like all of the graphical options, whether it's presentation, countdown, all of that's coming. It's just it didn't make it in version 1, but it will eventually make its way into Multicam. So for countdowns and things like that, absolutely expect that stuff to be coming in upcoming releases. So yeah, just wanted to kind of chime in there. All right, let's bring another one.
Let's do it. Kelly says, how can I get a good bokeh effect when interviewing someone? So the Mevo Start can't do bokeh effect on its own, but you can certainly use a program like Google Meets, Zoom. All of those have the blurred background option. If you wanted to use something like OBS or Ecamm or something like that, then you can also add bokeh effect. Specifically, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, NVIDIA has a program for that, and I think that there are some other software solution, but in terms of hardware, the Mevo can't do a bokeh effect.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier, how we thought it would be a really cool feature to have. We were having a meeting internally here, and Will had mentioned that. So I can assure you that we also have the desire to have that feature. We think it'd look great. And it's obviously done via the programs in like Zoom and things like that and Google Meets. So I would like to see us integrate it into our program, but there's no announcement, there's no timeline. I'm not even sure if it's been discussed outside of what me and Will have discussed, but I can assure you those conversations don't exactly go straight to the top of the list. But any suggestion like this that you all bring to us, we definitely make sure your opinions are heard. And luckily for you, a lot of the opinions you all have are the same ones that we have. So a lot of the stuff's already been discussed internally. It's just a matter of kind of putting it on a timeline and prioritizing things and making things, or sure things are great to go. All right, so we've answered a lot of questions. We're going to continue to do so. So we'll be back to questions. Make sure you continue to put those in the chat, and we will absolutely be more than happy to answer those in a moment. But since I already went over the graphical overlays, a lot of the questions have been about graphical overlays for Multicam. So we did Mevo 2.0. So I'm going to hand it over to Will, and we're going to demonstrate the graphical options in the Multicam app.
Cool. So let me get my iPad on screen. There we go. So to jump into graphics, you first want to press the graphics icon. That's the center little picture icon in the center. And so you can do a lot of really cool stuff when it comes to graphics, whether it's for sports, for music, concerts, DJing, house of worship. There's a lot of really cool stuff, obviously, and it really is up to you and how creative you want to be. I've done a few of these demo graphics, and I can show you really quickly, and then I'll show you how to set those up. So right now we've got like PNGs, so maybe you're doing game broadcasting and want to have a nice little border. If you're doing a music concert or just DJ stream, something like that, maybe you want to have your record on screen so people know how to buy it. If you're doing a house of worship, I know a super popular thing is to do lyrics to the music that's being played, so you can easily add that. All of these files, by the way, are PNGs. These are transparent PNGs. That's why part of it is transparent, just like that.
I'm gonna have to steal. I'm gonna have to steal that transparent border when I do my my VR streams at home. I'm gonna get like that real cool. There we go, and then people can just watch me in my living room while I spin around with a headset on, cluelessly.
It's a cool effect. It really is.
Yeah, no, it really is. I think it's really neat.
And then for sports, you can do an overlay. Like this was a really quick and easy one that I made, where you can do edit, and so you can add text on top of your graphics. And so if I do a graphic on the top and it's center and it's white, then I can just add team and then do score 1 to 2, and then more spaces and team. Then you can see you can kind of customize it like that. I can get rid of these periods. And yeah, just like that, you can keep updating the information. Click done. There you go. You have your live scoreboard, and I can just edit that at any point in time whenever the score changes. So that's really easy, and let me show you how to quickly make a graphic. So obviously these are pre-made images, and I've done them in Photoshop. You can do them on other programs, but you can also make graphics in the app. So if you hit the plus and go to graphics, you can do just like Joe showed you. You can do full screen, overlay, lower third, over the shoulder, and corner bugs. So let's just do a lower third. So just like Joe was showing you with his fantastic dog Echo, who is almost as famous as Joe is, you can just quickly add the text. You can do black or white text here in the Multicam app. You can do an image to the side, just like in the Mevo 2.0 app. You can do the background color. Let's say I wanted it blue to match my blue scoreboard. You can adjust the transparency really easily. And then you can select that image. Maybe we'll do a DJ bundle. And again, just like Joe was showing you, you can rotate that graphic really, really easily. And there you go, DJ bundle. And that, you can adjust it any location that you want.
That is some strategic placement, sir.
There you go. Yeah. So it's really, really easy to do graphics in the Multicam app. You can do this with a single camera if you wanted to, or you can do it with all 3 cameras that you have. And another benefit is you don't currently need a subscription. So yeah, multicam.
Now, what's really cool, if I mentioned it with Mevo 2.0, is that you actually need an SD card for these on the Mevo 2.0 app, but for this, it's all stored on your mobile device, so you don't need to upload graphics for each of your cameras. You just need it on the mobile device itself. So that's pretty solid, because right now when we change cameras locally right now, what happens is I have to actually change the SD card from one camera to the other, or upload the camera, or upload the graphics on each SD card. So it's definitely a different concept when it comes to multicam. All right, so let's get into some more questions, and let's see. We got multicam. We've got okay, cool. I'll give you the multicam one, and I'll take the one after.
You mentioned that you are using the Multicam app now with NDI. Are your Meevos connected via Ethernet, or are some connected to NDI wirelessly? So I'm not sure who mentioned Multicam now with NDI, because it's not yet in the app. You can certainly connect to OBS via RTMP. That might be what you're thinking of. But we are planning on adding NDI to the Multicam app, both in and out, I believe. So we don't have a specific date yet for that, but we do plan on adding it.
I think the confusion's coming from, because I said we're using NDI for today's show, but we're actually using that with Streamlabs OBS. We are using both Ethernet. We are using both Ethernet-enabled NDI devices, and we're using a wireless NDI for this specific camera. You're going to lose audio for a second, but I'll show you what it looks like. So that camera right there is running wirelessly with NDI, but that's the only wireless one that we are running. For all the cameras that Will is using for the multicam demos, all of those I believe are running wireless, but it's not via NDI, it's just the multicam ability. It's a great question, and sorry for the confusion, but yeah, NDI is eventually going to come to multicam, and I think we're all looking forward to it. Okay, next question. Frank says, does Mevo send separate updates for the camera and the app? So there's a few different ways that we can send updates. We can send updates bundled. So when the camera gets an update, that's called firmware. And when the app gets an update, that's just an app update. Typically, we bundle these together. So if there is an app update, we send that with the app or firmware with it. But we can also send it separately. So when you connect to a network, if it will ping the server and say, hey, is this the correct configuration? If not, it'll prompt you that you're using outdated firmware. So yes, there are technically two different ways, or there are two different updates. The app update doesn't necessarily mean a firmware update, and a firmware update doesn't necessarily mean an app update. But there's two different ways that we deliver it. There's via app, and there's via our online platform or server. That way it kind of pings it and says, compares the files, and it'll prompt you. So there are different ways that we send those updates out. That's a great question. A lot of people aren't really sure usually how that works, and I'm glad you asked. All right, so Keith says, will the Mevo be supported on the M1 iPad? So we have all intentions on making compatibility with M1 devices. Unfortunately, it's not as well, honestly, I'm not in the room when they're doing it, but based on where we're at now, I'm going to say it's not as easy as we had hoped. But there's a lot of programs out there right now that are working to get compatibility with M1, not even related to Mevo. A lot of teams are working to get compatibility. A lot of programs, a lot of companies are trying to work and make their things compatible with M1. But the goal is to absolutely do that, whether it's the M1 iPad, M1 laptop, whatever Apple M1 products are. Some of them are having great success. Some of them are having less than stellar experiences. But the goal is, in the end of the day, to be compatible with all of the M1 series products from Apple. All right, let's get the next one in here. Let's see I think the next one's multicam. Oh, no. Amy says, can you please fix the over-the-shoulder overlay to use the return key for multiple lines in multicam? Yeah. So no, absolutely, Amy. That's definitely something we're working on. I believe it's coming out in the near future. I seen it? I think I seen that in release notes for something we're working on. So I believe it's coming out very soon. So trust me, we are aware, and that was one of the first things that we pointed out was we should be able to use the return key. So expect to see that and an update coming soon. Next question, please. Fred says, any plans to make team accounts so that multiple people can have access to the same settings, graphics, and multicam app? So right now the settings aren't saved on the Mevo. Okay, so like technically they are. Okay, so this is really complicated. There's a few different ways that this happens. But they're not stored on any account. So there's no way that we would have a team account because there's no account that any of this data is saved. Some of the data is saved on your mobile device, some of the data is saved on the camera. So the settings from the camera or from your mobile device will be sent over the camera, depending on what settings you're changing, and then the camera will store those settings. Now, if you're talking about mobile like streaming destinations, that stuff is sent from your mobile device to the camera. If you're talking about camera image adjustments, those are stored on the camera, but sent from the mobile device. Honestly, there's a lot of handshaking going on when it comes to settings, and unfortunately, just none of it's actually saved to an account. So as it stands right now, that's not a discussion, just because we don't have any accounts. None of the settings, whether it's or account logins, camera settings, none of that is stored anywhere. We have no access to that. It's all done locally with you. So like if you were to ask us, hey, can you get us even just the account for Vimeo? If you had a Vimeo account, we can't access that either. We don't store any user data like that. So as it stands right now, there is no plans to integrate or create such accounts. But maybe down the road, I don't know. It's just kind of not something we do right now. That's a great question. I love that name, by the way, Fred the Hippo. Big fan. Kevin says, are there any special processes to ensure audio is sent with the video via Ndi to OBS, or should it already be together? It should already be together. 100% should 100% already be arriving to OBS with audio. Now, there are a few different settings in OBS that allow you to select only audio. I think there might be one to select only video, but by default, it's automatically together. So there's going to be an audio source and a video source in OBS. So like as I'm looking right now, I can see I've got a window cam and I have a desk cam. So my camera is the desk cam, and it's desk cam video and audio. Then there's some scenes where I only use audio. So if I switch over to Will, I'm only using the source that has audio because there's no reason for my video to be present at the same time. So it should by default be there. If it's not, I would contact OBS, or you can send us a ticket and we'll try to help as well. Unfortunately, everybody's configuration's a little bit different. So it looks like we're wrapping up with questions, which is wonderful. You guys have been very interactive today. We're at about 51 minutes, so it's about that time for us to wrap up anyway. So let's go over one more time. I want to make sure we talk about our bundle deal, because you only have until the 1st of next month to take advantage of that. You can get your hands on the Mevo Start DJ bundle, get a Mevo Start Ethernet power adapter, the Start case, and floor stand for $593.97. I really wish that was like some like $590. It's just random cents right now. It's just very odd for me. When we have like the other sales, it's like the bundle, the 3 camera sale, it's like $9.99. It's just easier to say. This one I have to actually read it, which is tough. It's a tough one. Anyways, go and take advantage of Mevo, the Mevo Start bundle today on Mevo.com, US-based customers until the 1st of the month. And then we also have our referral program. With our referral program, you go to Mevo.com/referral. Sign up for a custom coupon code. You can name it whatever you want to name it, whether it's a YouTube channel, Twitch channel, sports league, organization, just your name, whatever you want to do. And you can give it to someone, save them 5% off their purchase on Mevo.com, and earn yourself 5% kickback on that same purchase. So with that said, Will, where would we send people who need help when it comes to like technical assistance?
Well, you'd probably want to head to help.mevo.com, where we have tons and tons of help articles that cover everything from the Mevo 2.0 app all the way to the Multicam app, as well as everything hardware related. And if you can't find your answer there, please open up a ticket, and one of us would be happy to help you with that one-on-one.
Absolutely. Thank you, Will. I want to see, do I have the... I don't think I do. Please remind me to add the source for our live shows. the graphic, I keep forgetting to add it to OBS. We do go live 4 times a week. If you were unaware, make sure you like, follow, subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find us at Mevo Camera on all 4 of those social platforms. We go live to both Facebook and YouTube Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As I mentioned previously, Tuesdays are Ask Mevo Anything. You get to ask me any Mevo-related question. I'll do my best to answer those if I'm allowed. Don't go asking me about release dates. We don't have those. Okay, on Wednesdays, Will goes in depth with Multicam. Sometimes he goes to cool locations and shows you how remote you can really get. So make sure you check those out if Multicam is something you are interested in. Don't forget, you don't need to have multiple cameras to use Multicam. You can absolutely do all of this with a single camera. So if you don't have multiple cameras, but you still like the Multicam app, make sure you tune in. You can learn a lot of stuff from him. On Thursdays, it's our shows like today. We get to do both the Mevo 2.0 app and Multicam and answer any questions related to Mevo. It's kind of like our Tuesday and Wednesday show combined. And then Fridays, Joseph Pisani, our technical specialist, is our in-house audio engineer. He's got a background working with television and movies. So if you have audio related questions and you want those answered live, you can get in depth with both internal, external audios or audio microphones, unboxings, and cool things like that. So if you're interested in that, definitely tune in on Fridays. From everyone here at Mevo, I appreciate you all tuning in today and thank you for your participation. Please tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Show Joseph some love and check out his audio show. I'm telling you, I watch him every week and I still learn something new every time he goes live. So until tomorrow's live show, we will see you all next time.